Mungo Park was a Scottish explorer known for his expeditions in West Africa during the late 18th century. Born on September 11, 1771 in Selkirkshire, Scotland on the Yarrow Water, near Selkirk, on a tenant farm which his father rented from the Duke of Buccleuch, and grew up in Folshiels, a small farm located in Selkirkshire, Scotland. He spent his early years in the rural environment of the Scottish borders and received an education from local schools, Selkirk Grammar School, and later attended the University of Edinburgh, where he studied medicine, earning his degree in 1788. This background laid the foundation for his later explorations in Africa. His medical education provided him with the skills and knowledge that would be beneficial during his travels in West Africa. Mungo Park was the son of Mungo Park and Elspeth Hislop Park née Noble. His father, also named Mungo Park, was a successful farmer, and the family was part of the rural community in the Scottish borders. The influence of his parents and his upbringing in a farming environment played a role in shaping his character and interests, particularly in nature and exploration, which later led to his significant contributions as an explorer in West Africa. Mungo Park was married to a woman named Alison Anderson, the daughter of his apprenticeship master, Thomas Anderson. They married in August 1799. Together, they had several children. Park's expeditions took him to West Africa, which caused significant strain on his family, especially given the dangers associated with his journeys. His untimely death in 1806 during his second expedition left his family without his support. He died after constructing the two main bridges in Jebba, Nigeria. Mungo Park began honing his interest in science and exploration during his time at the University of Edinburgh, where he studied medicine. He enrolled at the university in 1788 and was exposed to the scientific ideas and practices of the time, which included a growing interest in natural history and exploration. His medical training provided him with a strong foundation in scientific observation and inquiry, which was essential for his later explorations in West Africa. After completing his studies, he became increasingly interested in geographical exploration, particularly the Niger River. His curiosity about the natural world, coupled with his medical background, motivated him to seek adventure and knowledge through exploration. Park's first major expedition took place in 1795 when he set out to explore the Niger River, funded by the Sierra Leone Company. This journey marked the beginning of his significant contributions to geographical and scientific knowledge about West Africa. His observations during his travels not only contributed to the understanding of the region's geography but also provided insights into its peoples and cultures. He is most famous for his explorations of the Niger River. His notable journeys, particularly between 1795 and 1805, aimed to map the river and understand its course. During his first expedition in 1795, he traveled overland to the Niger River and followed it down to Busa. His accounts of the people and cultures he encountered, as well as descriptions of the landscape, were published in his book, Travels in the Interior of Africa, 1799, which became popular and enhanced Europe's interest in African exploration. He undertook a second journey in 1805, but tragically, he was killed in a conflict at Busa in the same year. Mungo Park's explorations contributed significantly to European understanding of the geography and cultures of West Africa. Mungo Park's explorations of West Africa, particularly the Niger River, are significant episodes in the history of exploration. Here are the full details. First expedition from 1795 to 1797. In the 18th century, the Niger River was largely unexplored, and its course and significance were subjects of debate among geographers. Park was commissioned by the Sierra Leone Company to explore the river and its potential for trade. Park set off on his first expedition in May 1795 from Portsmouth, England, after arriving in West Africa via the coast of Sierra Leone. Park traveled inland to the Niger River, facing numerous challenges, including difficult terrains, hostile tribes, and diseases. He traveled through modern-day Senegal, Gambia, and Mali, navigating through many villages and interacting with various cultures. Findings are as follow. It is the third longest river in Africa, behind the Nile and the Congo rivers. The source of the Niger River is the Guinea Highlands in Guinea at the town of Kisadugu in southeastern Guinea. The river discharges at the Niger Delta in Nigeria, which flows into the Atlantic Ocean via the Gulf of Guinea. It originates from the Tambacounda Plateau, near the town of Tambacounda, at an elevation of approximately 4,180 kilometers, 2,600 miles, above sea level, making it the third longest river in Africa. From there, the river Niger flows northwards through Mali, then turns southeast and flows through Niger, Benin, and Nigeria, before emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. It flows in a great arc through several countries in West Africa, including Mali, Niger, and Nigeria, before emptying into the Gulf of Guinea in the Atlantic Ocean. Park reached the Niger River in July 1796, in what is now northern Nigeria. His observations helped confirm that the river flowed east and west, which was debated by contemporary cartographers. He documented the lives, customs, and economies of the indigenous peoples he encountered, including their agricultural practices and trade systems. His accounts highlighted the richness of the region's resources. After facing increasing dangers, including hostility from local tribes and dwindling supplies, Park began his return journey to England in 1797, eventually arriving back in Scotland in 1798. Second expedition from 1805 to 1806. After his first expedition, Park published his findings, which garnered attention and support for further exploration. In 1805, he was given another opportunity to explore the Niger River, this time funded by the British government. Park set out on his second expedition in 1805, accompanied by a group of men. The journey faced extreme hardship, including treacherous travel conditions, attacks from hostile tribes, and illness among his crew. Park successfully reached the Niger River again. He descended the river, facing numerous challenges, including limited supplies and the complexities of local politics. In February 1806, during this expedition, Park and most of his party were ambushed and killed near Busa, the modern Nigeria. Mungo Park's explorations are often credited with providing valuable information about the geography and cultures of West Africa. His detailed accounts contributed significantly to European understanding of the Niger River and laid the groundwork for later explorations in the region. His efforts also helped stimulate interest in African exploration, although the consequences of subsequent explorations often involved the exploitation and colonization of African territories. His adventurous spirit and persistence in the face of adversity have made him an important figure in the history of exploration. His writings, particularly Travels in the Interior of Africa, remain significant historical documents. He authored a couple of notable works based on his experiences. Travels in the Interior of Africa in 1799. This book details his journey along the river Niger and his observations of the cultures, geography, and wildlife of the regions he explored. It was highly influential and is considered one of the earliest accounts of West African exploration. Journal of a Mission to the Interior of Africa. Published posthumously in 1815. This was a compilation of his notes and experiences during his travels to the interior of Africa, providing insights into the challenges he faced and the information he gathered. These works contributed significantly to Western knowledge of Africa at the time and continue to be referenced in historical studies of exploration. Mungo Park did not receive formal awards or honors in the modern sense during his lifetime. However, he is recognized posthumously for his contributions to exploration and knowledge of West Africa. His expeditions were significant in the early understanding of the geography and cultures of the continent. Park was a member of several scientific societies, including the Royal Society of Edinburgh, which acknowledged his work. His explorations have been celebrated in various historical accounts, and he is often credited as one of the notable figures in the age of exploration. Mungo Park received the following awards. Gold medal from the Royal Geographical Society's predecessor, the African Association, in 1798. Additionally, several geographical features and places have been named after Mungo Park, including Park's Peak in the Rocky Mountains, Mungo Park River in Western Australia, Park's Falls in Nigeria. These recognitions acknowledge his significant contributions to exploration and geography. Park was more of a traveling scholar and explorer than a person of significant wealth. His financial situation was modest, but he was born into a relatively wealthy Scottish tenant farming family. His father's estate was valued at £3,000, which is equivalent to about £5,783,090 today. During his expeditions, funding often came from institutions or sponsors interested in his explorations rather than personal wealth accumulation. Today, his legacy is valued more for his contributions to exploration and knowledge than for any financial wealth he might have had. Mungo Park resided in various places throughout his life, including Selkirk, Scotland, his birthplace; Edinburgh, Scotland, where he studied medicine; Fulshiels, Scotland, his family's farm; London, England, where he prepared for his African expeditions. During his expeditions, Park traveled extensively throughout Western Africa, particularly Busa in present-day Nigeria, Niger, and Mali. While Mungo Park lived in the late 18th century from 1771 to 1806, during his time, there were no automobiles or modern vehicles as we know them today. Transportation methods at that time included horse-drawn carriages, the primary mode of personal and goods transport, commonly used by explorers, merchants, and travelers. The very early form of bicycles, known as the dandy horse, or velocipede, was invented around Park's lifetime but was not commonly used until later. For his explorations along rivers like the Niger, Park utilized boats and canoes, which were essential for navigating waterways. A significant amount of travel was done on foot, particularly in rugged terrains where vehicles couldn't operate. Mungo Park, the Scottish explorer, traveled in Africa during the late 18th century. Given the time period and geographical context, he did not use cars. Instead, he relied on. Park used horses for transportation during his journeys. He traveled by canoe along rivers, such as the Niger River. In the Sahara Desert, Park used camels as a mode of transportation. For much of his journey, Park walked, often with the assistance of local guides and porters. Keep in mind that cars did not exist during Mungo Park's lifetime from 1771 to 1806. The first gasoline-powered automobiles were not invented until the late 19th century. Mungo Park made several significant contributions to society, particularly in the fields of exploration, geography, and knowledge about West Africa. He is primarily known for his explorations rather than specific charitable endeavors. However, his work and writings contributed to greater awareness and understanding of West Africa, which, in turn, influenced humanitarian interests and efforts in the region. Here are some indirect contributions related to charity and humanitarianism. Exploration of the Niger River. Park is best known for his explorations of the Niger River, which he first navigated in 1796. His journeys helped map parts of West Africa and improved European knowledge of the region. Geographical knowledge. His explorations provided valuable geographical information about West Africa that was previously unknown to Europeans. This knowledge contributed to maps and further studies of the African continent. Cultural insights. Mungo Park documented the cultures, customs, and societies of the African peoples he encountered during his travels. His writings offered a European audience a glimpse into the diversity and complexity of West African civilizations. Through his travels and writings, Park helped shed light on the cultures and societies of West Africa. This increased awareness could inspire later charitable efforts aimed at improving the lives of those living in these regions. Publications. His travel accounts, especially Travels in the Interior of Africa, in 1799, became influential works that inspired other explorers and piqued the interest of Europe in Africa. These publications highlighted the importance of understanding different cultures and environments. Encouragement of future exploration. Park's findings and experiences encouraged further exploration of Africa by Europeans, leading to more extensive scientific and naturalist studies in subsequent decades. Encouragement for humanitarian efforts. Park's accounts of the struggles faced by West African communities may have sparked interest among Europeans in supporting initiatives aimed at health, education, and social reform in Africa. Advocacy for knowledge. His belief in the importance of knowledge and understanding across cultures contributed to early dialogues about exploration that went beyond mere colonialism and exploitation. Legacy of exploration. The legacy of exploration he left behind contributed to the establishment of organizations focused on African development, healthcare, and education, although these movements emerged more significantly in the 19th century after his death. Mungo Park's legacy lies in his role as an early explorer who bridged cultural gaps and contributed to a greater understanding of West Africa in the Western world.
Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comment, and share this video. And please turn on your notification in order to see more of my videos. Thank you for watching.